Good afternoon, everybody, and it's time for Retired Roman Rob again. Yeah, we got another video here. We are going to be talking about our processes and steps and all the experiences and anxieties that we went through while preparing our puppy, our dog, Cece, for travel into the country of China. There are lots of rules, regulations for different countries. So maybe not all of these will be the same if you're taking your pet to another country other than China, say South America, Mexico, wherever. You have to go on to a government website, APHIS, I believe it is, APHIS.gov, and it will put you into the traveling pet section, and you can select the country that you're going to, and it will give you all the requirements that you need to take your pet into the country you're traveling to. So. Yeah, if you're taking your dog to China, I hope you watch this video. I don't know, we watched other videos on YouTube to be able to get kind of ideas about taking your dog to another country, and we didn't really find any really good videos with all the steps that we had to go through to be able to take your dog to China. I found them taking them to Europe and found them taking them to South America and stuff, but I never really found a good video with as much information as I'm trying to tell you all about taking your fur baby to China. So we're gonna start off with getting our tickets. We planned our trip way in advance. One of the main things was because we fly with Delta, and we had some credits, some e-credits that were still available, and we needed to use those and book a flight before December 31st of 2023. So we're looking at flights in December. So while looking at flights, we found the only thing that was available was a one-stop or more, and there wasn't any non-stop flights available out of Detroit into anywhere in China. So we decided on getting a flight that had a one-stop, and the single stop was in South Korea, in Seoul. So we called up Delta, and we learned very quickly that we could go ahead and book the flight for Cece on Delta, but we would have to also call Korean Airlines and make sure that they had space on the flight, because each flight has a certain amount of positions or availability for your pet. In our case with Delta, it's only 4. There can only be 4 pets, and it's first come, first serve on that flight. And you can only have the pets in Delta Comfort Plus or behind, which is the main cabin or coach. You can't have them in the Premium Select or business class or first class. They don't allow them up there. Maybe if your pet is a trained, certified service animal, then that's a possibility, but I'm not sure. You have to go to your airline of choice website and look at all their rules when it comes to pets that are allowed. Our particular flight is, so she's not a trained service animal, she had to be in a carry-on. She had to fit in a carry-on, and only could have 4 pets on the flight at once. This right here is her carry-on bag. which is a soft side. Okay, vented on 4 sides. The top can open up. It's got a little padded bed in there for her. And what we did before we went to Detroit, while we were having the certificate taken care of, is we went over to Lansing, Capital City Airport, and took this bag, took it over there, had a Delta flight attendant check it out, tell me if it was okay. I told her we were going to be on an Airbus 350, so you can go on the website and you can find out what the dimensions are underneath the seat, so you can buy the right size, so your dog can fit underneath the seat. This is all, you know, what they require in the website. I'll tell you later about what really happened. We went ahead and booked the flight, and I think it was maybe a day or 2 later, I was thumbing through flights again just to see what pops up, and all of a sudden, bam, there's a non-stop flight from Detroit to Shanghai. So me and my wife talked about it. It's like, you know what, we ain't got to worry about dealing with this other flight, you know, and worrying about if we could get our pet on there, and we're gonna have an 8 or 9 hour layover, all that crap. So we switched. We canceled that flight, rebooked the other one, and then of course made sure that Cece was in our flight editions or whatever, our remarks, comments, whatever, in that section. If you're taking a pet, they got to know about it. And so we did the one single flight nonstop, 15 hours. The only concern that I had was I hoped that she was going to go to the bathroom. We had diapers and potty pad and all that kind of stuff with us. So that was our first step of getting her ready to go. Later on in the year, we dealt with our vet in Lansing, Michigan, and they luckily were a USDA certified vet, so that they were able to do all the requirements as far as paperwork and testing and all that stuff. They could do all that. They didn't do the testing. They sent out the paperwork. They did the blood draw and everything, because coming into China, you have to have a certain level of rabies antibodies in the dog's system. So along with age requirements, I think if they're too young, they can't fly, or if they're too old, they can't fly. But Cece was, she's in case some of you don't know out there that are listening to, watching this video and you don't know me, and we have a little 7-pound toy poodle named Cece, and she was 8 years old when we were going through the process, and as soon as we stepped foot in China, in Shanghai, she turned 9. That was her birthday. So had to get the teeter test. The veterinarian, this was about June, is when we went and got the blood drawn, so that if the antibodies weren't high enough, they had time to give her another rabies shot and then do another teeter test, so she could fly out September 23rd. I know China was actually required, or was asking for, the last 2 rabies vaccination certificates. So if you are somebody like me, and whenever I took our dog to the vet and all that stuff, I was always keeping all the paperwork. I didn't know we were going to take her to China. I just figured, you know what? I'm just one of those people that like to keep hold on to stuff like that for a certain amount of time and then get rid of it later. Well, good thing, because we needed 2 of those certificates, along with our physical that needed to be done within 14 days after arrival here. So it had to be, it had to get the teeter test done, and that's good for, I think, 1 year. and then the teeter test has to be a certain limit, in which she was fine on that. So the teeter test was good. She had to go for a physical, which the doctor, when you're doing a physical, they had to take all the information from years past. Good thing we've had her at this one vet for this many years. And all this information that they had to fill in, that has to be sent to the USDA office, which is in our region in Michigan here. They sent it to Wisconsin. Also, too, you have to send them a return label, which I printed off a UPS. Once the USDA office in Wisconsin gets all that information and they say, okay, it's all good, they send you a stamped, like a notarized type of a deal, certificate, sending it back to you, and make lots of copies. The teeter test copy, the copy of the certificate, all that kind of stuff. Make at least 4 sets of copies, because everybody's gonna want one. And we got the UPS overnight delivery on a Friday, and we were leaving Monday. It was that close. We were that worried. It was nerve-wracking, fingernail biting. We were just wow. I tell you what, we were stressed out pretty well. We were stressed out pretty well for that whole week before we were traveling, because we had done it the Friday before, and we figured, okay, well, we did it. We did it in time. We should get this paperwork back by Wednesday. It didn't happen, so there was a couple of hitches, but it all worked out. Everything worked out. So okay, so that's step number 2, is going through the whole vet process and making sure that everything's good to go. So we got the carrier checked out. We got Cece's veterinarian stuff all ready to go, and we go into the airport, and my wife's got like a little pouch that she carries her in, instead of having to be in this cage, at least different places that we go to. And the lady there, I had to give them a copy of the teeter test and some other, like I said, some of the copies of the information. And we did that when we give them our passports and everything to get our boarding passes. She got everything's cool, got everything worked out, paid $200. It's a $200 fee for her to fly. And she also said that the lady said you can keep her in the pouch on you. You don't have to put her in the pen, in the carry-on, until you get to the boarding gate and go to the get on the plane and go for your flight. So yeah, my wife had her on her side in the pouch. She walked through security. Everything went really smooth, a lot smoother than what I expected. So I'm gonna take a drink of my delicious green tea that I bought. This stuff is really good. And so we get into the gate area. We go check out one of these pet relief stations, okay? In Detroit Airport, it's right around A26, gate A26. There's a PF Chang right there and everything. Well, there's a pet relief station right there. So we go in there and we put her up on there, and Cece's never been on fake grass. She's never been on like that plastic, hard, fake grass stuff. She wouldn't go to the bathroom at all. Would not even think about it. She wanted to jump off of that thing. She after we got into the air, my wife asked that lady that was sitting next to us if she mind us taking Cece out and putting her on our lap, you know. And she said no, she didn't have any problem. She wanted to actually pet her and stuff like that. And My wife took her out of the carrier, put her in her lap, put the blanket over the top of her, and that's where she pretty much rode for 15 hours. I tried taking her into the bathroom, put a potty pad down on the floor, tried to get her to go potty, all kinds of stuff. She would not go potty. We get into Shanghai and go through customs, which was very simple. You do your normal thing, and they don't even say anything about the dog. They look at the paperwork. They asked for the paperwork. They gave it back to my wife. We went over. So now we go over just before we get our after we get our luggage and before we're exiting the baggage area into the airport, and we have to go and claim her, and we have to claim unaccompanied baggage. I hope everybody that's interested sees this, watches the whole video, and likes, comments, and subscribes. Got more videos coming on immigration processes, as far as bringing that unaccompanied baggage with you. If you are like us, we're moving to China, so we did a lot more than what a traveler is going to do. So stay tuned for more information on if you're serious about coming to China and staying here for a long-term period, working or retiring or whatever. Watch us. Okay? Peace out, everybody.